You're tuned in to the Foxboro BeatCast, a podcast for Patriots fans by Patriots fans. And here are your hosts, is Kaleb and Ryan Moore.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Foxboro BeatCast. I am your host, Kaleb. Got this starting off right. First try, first take. We love to see it. I'm here with my co-host Ryan on this fantastic Wednesday. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing fucking amazing, man. I can't lie to you. Like, it's been a pretty good week, even after the Patriots loss.
I went to the game.
Yeah, you watched the loss.
It was a good one. It was a good game. Listen, the title of this episode is going to be No Moral Victories, because I'm going to be slamming you with a sledgehammer with this point if you try to talk about a moral victory. But
no, you know what? No, it was. I won't lie. It wasn't like a great loss. Like, they're really like the coaching. I'll be blunt. Like, the coaching just was shit. Like the coaches lost this game. I'll be real here. And we talked about this.
The atmosphere in the stadium was great. Fans were rowdy. This was my dad's first regular season game, the game that mattered. I took him to the preseason game against the Commanders in 21 when Cam Newton was still here. That was a fun little preseason game, Mac Jones' Patriots debut, when we had a little higher hopes than what ended up happening. But yeah, it was a fun time, good time. The nice margaritas, good. It was good. It was a good time.
Yeah.
But the Patriots lose 28-22. Defense, I felt like, made the stops when it mattered, but there were too many huge plays. Both Kupp and Nacua had 100 yards each. Stafford threw like 4 touchdowns and like 9 passes or something absurd. So we'll go over that. We'll talk about Drake Maye and how this was, I think, his best game as a starter so far this year. And then we'll go over some other stuff. I put in 10 thoughts, questions, etc. And we'll do our picks and talk about some football.
All
right, Ryan, let's start with you. What do you want to kick this game off with? Like, what's the first thing you want to hit?
I don't want to start negative, but I'm going to start negative. The coaching, I think, frankly, lost the Patriots the game.
How so?
Okay.
Not that I disagree, just how so?
We talked about this last week. What do the Rams have on offense?
Sean McVay.
They have Sean McVay. They also have 2 Lamborghinis at receiver. You guys have a Lamborghini at cornerback. Who did you park the Lamborghini, or who where'd you put the Lamborghini? You put him against Demarcus Robinson, their third receiver.
I think it was. I don't want to. I want to provide some clarity here from what I understand. The plan wasn't to put a Gonzo on Demarcus Robinson. It was more so the Rams chose to avoid Gonzo because he wasn't following anybody. He stayed at the sideline. So it's not like he was purposely, we're going to put Gonzo on Robinson. They just didn't have him follow one or the other because the Rams because the Rams used so much motion that it almost didn't matter. But when it was obvious the plan wasn't working, Jerod Mayo and DeMarcus Covington opted to not move from their plan of putting Gonzo on the boundary. I just thought that I would provide some proper context to all of that.
The thing is there's a major lack of in-game adjustments that I've noticed just throughout like the weeks where they get figured out and they don't punch back. And they're so lucky that Drake Maye is, as a rookie, so great that he can keep this team in games that they shouldn't be in. Dude, how do you not have Gonzo shadow either Puka or Kupp? Dude, Puka is killing them. Kupp was killing them. And not only that, but Covington, why did you go on an all-out blitz against Matthew Stafford of all quarterbacks?
Guy who's seen it all, right?
Yeah.
God,
I'm not impressed with Covington or Mayo. And, I mean, we've shit on basically all 3 coaches at this point in the year. It's been brutal. And I thought AVP called a better game this
Oh,
week.
this was his best game, I think.
Yeah, by far. Which it's not a high bar, but like Covington and Mayo, I got major questions. I know you're both young. I know you're both inexperienced coaches, but you guys got you got pantsed. They got pantsed. Let's just call it what it is.
I think
And
the biggest. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say they're so lucky that they were even in this game.
I think that Mayo's biggest I'm not upset that we lost. I'm not even upset that we lost the way we did. What really just kind of irks me is that it doesn't seem like Coach Mayo has a philosophy of any kind. He's kind of just operating too much on situation by situation thoughts. So, an example of this would be 4th and 2 at the goal line, or 4th and 2 in the midfield, or those situations where field goal, punt, like 4th and short. There's no real consistency. There's no real aggressiveness, but they're also not super conservative either. They kind of go back and forth. And, I hate to use this team in a positive manner, but Detroit, they're aggressive. They go for it. And they're one of the best teams on 4th down in football because of it. There's no real identity to just how the Patriots are going to win games. I feel like it's very back their ass into it if they do win, kind of like that's like kind of the vibe that I'm getting. So I just wish that Mayo would kind of just form a philosophy, because as much as it doesn't have to be the philosophy that you or I agree with, but it's better to at least have one. I don't feel like the Patriots really have one. Like, what is their identity as a team? How are they going to win games? How do they intend to go in and beat you? It can't just be, well, we got Drake Maye, let's see what happens, because that only goes so far, and that so far is losing by 6 to the Los Angeles Rams at home.
Yeah. Well, his coaching philosophy is I'm not Belichick. That's
which is fine.
all.
But who are you?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is you brought up Detroit.
I feel
right?
like that I'm not X, but who are you? I feel like that's a common trend in some areas, don't you?
Yeah.
It's just not a method for success.
Not at all. That you talk about Detroit, right? When we looked at Detroit when they first hired Dan Campbell, okay, they were bad. The first year or two of the Dan Campbell.
When was he hired?
He was hired 2021. I want to say 21. So,
because he wasn't the interim coach after Campbell. No, it was Darren Bevel. Okay, the first year Dan Campbell was 3-13-1. But they had that win against the Packers at the end.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, is when Dan Campbell came in, he established a culture and a vision for the Detroit Lions. What's the culture or vision for Mayo?
There isn't one, yet, right?
Yeah, and you're right. It can't. Your offensive game for your game plans just in general can't be Drake Maye save us, Drake Maye, Drake Maye, Drake Maye. Yeah, you're lucky you have a Drake Maye, but it's even better? Drake Maye with a set goal in mind of what we're doing on a week-by-week basis. Not, let's just freestyle, out there. We'll go we'll go along with the flow, and then, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh, well, we'll just shrug our shoulders, and then,
I think everybody understands that the Patriots aren't winning a ton of games this year. We knew this going in, that their ceiling was probably 5 or 6 wins. They still gotta want to win. I feel like the objective in the game is to win football games ultimately at the end of the day. The Patriots, their coach, it feels too lackadaisical. It feels like just too accepting that this is a lost year, so they don't have to try too hard. If it gets messy quick, they don't have to try so hard. That's kind of like how I feel about the team. That's kind of
But
their
then that's
effort.
how bad culture.
Or the coaching anyway. I think the players do fight to the end. I think the players play their asses off week in,
I
week
think
out.
I will say I do think some players do tap out towards the end, which is why you'll see some big blowouts. Like we saw. We'll talk about Jacksonville later, but like that was the team that I think tapped out.
Well, I was talking about the Patriots players specifically. I don't think the Patriots players are tapping out. I think they play the full 60.
No, I don't think they tapped out. But you don't want to get them to a point where they're so bad that the players tap out.
Mm-hmm.
Like where it's week 16, week 17, week 18, and they're just like, whatever. We're collecting paychecks. We'll go out there. We'll play. We're not going to, maybe we give 75%. Maybe we're out there. We just, no, you want, like, with the Lions, right? And yes, everything's going to come back to the Lions because for once, the first time ever in their franchise history, they are the model franchise of what to do in terms of building up a franchise.
Do we want to consider shutting down the NFL after that sentence?
Yeah, we probably should. But no, it's a genuine credit to them because they went in and they decided, hey, you know what? The Stafford years, what were they? They were just a bundle of mediocrity. Maybe they make the wild card round.
Underachieving.
Yeah. They didn't have a playoff win in like 30 years. Last time they won a playoff game, like my parents weren't even like together. And I turned 24 in a couple weeks. You know how nuts that is? And I where was I going with this? See,
players
I
tapping
thought
out.
The players tapping out. You talk about they beat Green Bay at the end of the season. I want to see that for New England. I don't think we're going to win many more games this year. But if I see any quit, you want to beat Buffalo. I don't want to see any quit. If any of these guys quit at the end of the season, I'm gonna be really alarmed because that to me means they're out on Drake Maye and the coaching staff.
And I don't think they're there yet.
No,
I think Mayo has his guys ready to play. Sometimes I wonder, play to play, series to series, how into it is Mayo? Like, is he coaching to win these games? Sometimes some decisions that I see on the field, like the aggressiveness or the conservativeness on fourth down on these crucial situations, kind of leaning to, let's just keep chipping away instead of let's go for it. Let's go for the throat. Sometimes I wonder if Mayo is kind of coaching scared.
Yeah, and you'll see that from inexperienced coaches from time to time.
He wasn't even a coordinator when he got this job. So, like, he's learning on the fly, same as Drake Maye, same as Covington. He's learning as he goes. So, again, we're giving him full benefit of all the doubt here.
Yeah. I don't want to go in here and say, like, oh, let's fire this guy. I do think Patriots fans need to exude a little patience, but I am going to criticize him because I do think his coaching is, has warranted criticism. Like if we're well into next season and he's still coaching like this, then fire him. I'm sorry. But we're not there yet. We're a little early. But yeah, I wanted to start that off with just some Drake Maye criticism. And DeMarcus Covington criticism. Who, by the way, did you see Covington
Covington what?
Did it cut out?
A little bit.
Fucking Christ, I hate this internet. Okay, yeah, Covington's apparently one of the up and coming candidates in the future for head coaching jobs. Apparently.
That could be something.
Yeah. Which is interesting. I don't know why. I mean, I don't think he's ready at all.
No. But I guess maybe he's just thought highly of around the league.
Yeah. And you know what? I want him to succeed. I don't want to come in here every week and be like, these guys suck, like, or they can't adapt. I just want to see like you and I both just talked about. We just want to see some like coherent philosophy and a vision for the future. And I mean a little bit of in-game adjustments, please.
Yeah, no, for sure. Don't be afraid
But
to stray away from the plan. Try something different.
but yeah, I do want to talk some positives though. I mean, every week it's just gonna be Drake Maye good. I mean, but this was his best game, I would say, as a pro. By
Let's
far.
just let's run through the stats. 30 for 40, 282, 2 touchdowns, QBR of 73.7, passer rating of 100.2. Only took 3 sacks, and obviously the 1 interception. We can talk about that. I think on one hand he's trying to make a play. On the other hand, it was a bad ball.
Yeah. I mean, the interception to Pop, like, I do blame a little bit of it on Pop Douglas. A little
No,
bit.
he's got to turn his head around to like look at the
It's the same
ball.
it's the same with Booty, like on the one like a couple weeks ago. Like, what's the use of throwing deep to these guys if they're not even gonna like bother to, even
You ever play touch football
try?
with your friends, and you're playing quarterback, and like your friends just aren't turning around to like look for the effing ball?
Dude,
That's kind of what
I
that was.
I hated that shit so much. Like I would be stuck with the shittiest like receivers possible. And I'm throwing decent balls, but these people are fucking strapped up and I'm like, "Bro, I'm not that athletic. I'm a fucking statue, man."
Yeah, no,
So,
In school, I was all time Rogers, not to say all time Brady because that's the popular name around here. I was the all time quarterback when I was playing with my friends, and the worst thing that my friends could do is just not turn around. Like I would just
yeah.
have to like throw it at their face and just hope that they turn around or else they get beamed. But that's the
It's like
consequence of not turning
the
around.
skit. It's like the Peyton Manning skit when he in SNL where he's got those fucking kids.
Yeah.
Move your ass.
Go in the porta potty and think about what you've done.
you. Oh fuck. Oh, that whole skit's heartbreaking. The worst person you know, man.
But yeah, Pop's got to turn around, and Drake's got to throw a better ball.
Yeah, for sure.
It was behind him, and it wasn't even close.
But I will say about Drake is I do like his willingness to at least go for a win. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't play scared.
No.
And I will say, for the flaws of like trying to make a hero ball play, he's actually pretty good at taking like to his standards, I should say. He's pretty good at living to see another down and understanding, check downs, understanding, hey, sometimes this play isn't here. If we can get that ironed out when it, becomes crunch time, he's gonna he rocks.
How about that wicked throw across his body to the corner where I think like Kendrick Bourne was?
Yeah, that was nuts. Dude, I want to talk about actually, you know what? I do want to talk about the touchdown drive he had, the first one to Kendrick Bourne.
Okay.
He was surgical.
Yeah.
Like that was a peak Brady level drive. I'll just go out there and say it. The way he was dissecting the Rams defense was just so effortless there. Making throws to all levels of the field, constantly making the right read, and then he finishes off with a strike of a touchdown throw. I love seeing that. That was the best drive I've seen so far from him in his career.
No, it was really good.
Yeah.
And then the other touchdown to Vidarian Lowe, that was a really good AVP dial up.
AVP got in his bag there. And you know what? I like that AVP is starting to at least get into his bag of trickery. And, I mean, we look at Ben Johnson. We can do a Detroit Lions counter at this point. But look at, Ben Johnson, how he gets in his bag with the trick plays. Like
It's not quite the same offense as AVP tries to run. The Detroit offense, I feel like, is just kind of like Josh McDaniels' offense on steroids. Like
yeah.
it's kind of like the goal. It's very pro style. It's very formulaic.
Offensively, I won't lie, they kind of remind me of like the '07 Patriots a little. Not
That's what I
like
mean. Like a lot of Patriots influences over there with Ben Johnson and AVP. So more, I think he's closer to Shanahan's kind of
yeah,
operation than McDaniels.
yeah. But he's getting into his bag of trickery, which you love to see.
No, right.
And I hope this
Nobody
team's
who hates a big man touchdown.
skinny people.
Seriously.
And listen, it's a fat play.
But the penalties for the offensive line. So many illegal formations, guards at the wrong spot, tackles at the wrong spot. I can't have it.
Dude, there were so many flags and shit that just anytime the refs just flew it, I just threw the flag. I just fucking eye roll. Like,
How do you think I felt when I was just standing there in the on the 40-yard
Yeah.
line?
yeah, that was ridiculous, man. And you know what? I'll be honest. O-line needs to be better, and I don't like going into things like shitting on the refs because they have a hard job.
Keep it
But
in your effing pocket sometime.
yeah, they're yeah, and I'll say this a lot about like just like all refs in general. Some of these guys got some fucking egos, man. They wanna be like the star of the show. Like fucking remember like Hockley, like Ed Hockley be like fucking, out there wanting to make a spectacle out of everything, and he's just like flexing the biceps, and it's like for a false start. It's
Yeah,
just
7 penalties, 45 yards.
yeah, ridiculous.
One optimistic sign: the Patriots made almost half of their third downs. They were 6 of 14.
That's pretty good.
The Rams were 2 of 8. The Patriots defense was good on third down, but they couldn't get the Rams to third down often.
That's the problem, man.
And another weird stat: the Patriots own time of possession by 15 minutes, and they still lost.
Because
Stafford just threw like quick touchdowns, real fast.
Yeah. Well, you had the heavy hitter at the cup that like.
Yep.
And by the way, Jonathan Jones
smoked.
He has not been that good this season.
He's Father Time's caught up to him. I think we might need to consider putting him up to safety.
Dude, they should have just traded him at the deadline. I don't know why they didn't.
That wouldn't have been a bad idea.
Yeah. But
what else do you want to cover with this game? Any other standouts that you saw? Kendrick Bourne, 570 and a touchdown.
Bourne was pretty good.
Pop Douglas's usage is getting really good.
It is. I didn't want to go negative here.
Oh, a negative standout.
But
who stuck out like a sore thumb?
I don't know what we're doing, Javon Baker, at this point.
Yeah, he had that okay return, and we went nuts on the field, and then we just kind of never saw him again.
Yeah, he had a bad return the second time, and then Gerard's just like, nope, not again. And then like he kind of just was like, well, Javon needs to learn how to be better or whatever. I'm like, how do you give him an opportunity to grow? You gotta let him make mistakes. He's a rookie. He's a super talented one. We knew the Javon Baker story when we drafted him. You gotta let this kid play a little, man. I'm sorry. Like it's really irking me.
Maybe he's not earning it in practice.
Yeah. Well, and you look at Jalen Polk too.
I don't even want to talk about Jalen Polk. Oh, what a disaster that guy is. What a head case.
Lad McConkey's popping off in fucking LA.
We should have drafted Lad McConkey. Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely not.
I will say though, Jalen Polk is really disappointing me in the sense of like he was advertised as a super pro ready player. And he looks like absolute dog, like just complete dog shit. I mean like unprepared dog shit. Like not even like if he's throwing the ball, he's made a couple of good grabs, like ball skills wise, but like the fundamentals, which were allegedly like what he was really good at, like
High
very
character guy, yeah.
Yeah, it's all the shit between the ears and like the technique and stuff that just is terrible. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think they need to overhaul just their overall just scouting philosophy with receivers. It's because it's not good.
Ramondre Stevenson, 20 carries, 73 yards. Drake Maye was not your leading rusher. Round of applause.
Yay! You guys did the bare minimum.
Baby steps, Ryan. Baby steps.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so. I gotta remember this isn't the fucking dynasty days, and like we're still rebuilding. So like, because there are times where my expectations are a little like, mentally like still can be like, why aren't you guys like great?
Defense in the filling of the sandwich here, second and third quarter, very bad. First and fourth, very good. Especially in the fourth quarter, they made every stop they needed to.
Yeah.
They gave this offense every chance that they could to win. And honestly, against a team like the Rams, all you can hope for is a chance to win at the end of the game, and they had it.
I gotta say, it really does help having your best defensive lineman back.
Oh yeah, Barmer was a beast all day.
Yeah,
on his 20 snaps.
It's so good to see him back, man.
I didn't think he was going to play this year.
No, he came back for Cole Strange, who, speaking of,
practice today. Yeah, practice today.
Hopefully, good. I don't know.
Yeah, we should probably round up the Patriots transaction logs. We cut Marco Wilson and brought in Alex Austin. I know you're a big Alex Austin guy. What are you hoping for?
I'm hoping to see him at least play. See, if you had Alex Austin in the boundary role, I like him a lot in that role. He's like 6'1". He's a big, lengthy corner. He's good in press man. He's good in zone. Like, he's just a good overall corner. He impressed a lot last year. I would like to see him play the boundary role because I know they have Marco Wilson, who is now a Bengal. The
Bengals picked him up.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about the Bengals later. I have something for those guys.
Yeah. No, I marked out a spot for them. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And
I saw that. My eyes perked up because I was gonna write in the script. The Bengals need to fire everyone. But
last Patriots transaction, I believe, of importance. We cut Tyquan Thornton just before the game on Sunday. He is now a Kansas City Chief. Probably the only spot where he could go and have any kind of hope.
He's gonna be like their MVS.
Cole Hardman 2.0. Yeah. God, can you imagine he just like turns out to be like at least average in KC? How pissed off we'll be.
Dude, they made like Justin Watson, like who was like a fifth stringer in the Bucs, into like a decent receiver there. Fucking Andy Reid, man.
He's dangerous, man. Did we went over Yannick Ngakoue, right?
No.
Okay. Well. What do you think? What do you think about Yannick Ngakoue coming over here?
I think he's been a good addition. Like, he's kind of a mercenary. I mean, like, it was kind of a little odd that we claimed him in the sense of like he's an older pass rusher in the back nine of his career, and we're a rebuilding team. But you do need vets, and you need a pass rusher desperately.
He did not log any snaps on Sunday.
Did he not? I felt like he was out there.
He's not on the stat log. I'll go check Pro Football Reference. I was just going off of the
I had a couple here.
The box score on ESPN. Let me see.
I guess Ngakoue wasn't out there. I thought he was. Am I tripping?
Nope, he didn't play.
Fuck. Never mind.
I mean, it says he appeared in one game, but I didn't see him yesterday, and he didn't record a single stat.
My point still stands, though, in the sense of why you need him out there. Like, you need pass rushing juice, and I think he provides it. That's weird. I thought he played.
I didn't see him.
What was he thinking of?
Admittedly. Let me see. Pro Football Reference. Yeah, nothing on Yannick Ngakoue on defense.
That's
So I
odd.
guess he didn't play.
I thought he was out there. Okay. Um, maybe it's because the pass rush looked
Snap
better.
count.
But
Okay, here we go. Patriots snap counts. Where is that number of
does
snaps?
Yannick
Yeah.
Ngakoue even exist? No, because
Okay.
I remember hearing
He
him
played
get brought.
14 snaps. Okay, he did. He
Okay.
played 14 snaps. He just didn't do anything.
Yeah. I swear I saw him out there on the field. I was like, am I tripping? 'Cause I heard Mark Sanchez like bring him up on the broadcast. I'm like,
So what you're saying is, even if I go to the game, I should watch the TV broadcast before.
yeah.
Get a different
No, like
perspective.
I'm like, what the fuck? Did he not play at all? Am I being gaslit? Like, did I like? No. My point still stands though. On Ngagwe, you need a guy like that right now, culture wise. Even though it's a weird fit, you need a player that's been around. Um, you need a player that can get some pressure. Your pass rush. I mean, Barmore, like outside the Bears game, I mean, let's be real. Caleb Williams inflicted half those sacks, and then
He was on 3 rushing defense snaps and 11 pass rush snaps. He got 1 assisted tackle.
okay, look at him.
He got in on 1.
There we go.
His pass rushing grade was hideous.
Was it really?
49.6.
Okay, never mind. Yannick Ngakoue cut him.
His average isn't great. Like, I'd probably say his average is like mid 50s. His best year was 2019, where he had oh no, that's his coverage grade. His pass rush grade was 49.6 last week, but his best pass rushing grade overall was in 2017, which is his best year. I think he's a Pro
That was
Bowler.
his rookie year.
His the second year.
His second year? Okay, it's 2016.
He got 13 sacks that year. He's got 2 sacks this year, but of course both of them were with Baltimore.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. If he, I still stand by what I say. And that you need a guy like him right now. Like, you need a designated pass
You
rusher.
just
And
played a Patriots game of Where's Waldo with Yannick Ngakoue.
yeah. We should do, like, Yannick Ngakoue, like, snap counter.
No, we need the all 22 footage on NFL Plus and just be like, okay, here, let's watch this Yannick Ngakoue snap.
Yeah, fuck it. Yannick Ngakoue cut-ups.
Well, the defense, Kyron Williams averaged almost 6 yards a carry. That's not good. Stafford, 18 to 27, 4 TDs. Can't have that. Puka Nacua is a badass. 7, 123 and 1. Cooper Kupp, a badass. 6, 106 and 2.
So I know the Rams scheme up their guys really well. I don't care, dude. Puka Nacua is one of the biggest draft steals I've seen in my life. The way he plays, man, like
he's a badass.
That's a guy on pace for one hell of a career for a 5th round draft pick.
And the Rams probably won't be letting him go anytime soon, huh?
No, he's gonna. He might break the record for like receiving contract when his is up, man. Like,
so there's no chance we can get him over here.
Well, if they have cap space.
How many first round picks would it take?
Probably take like at least 3. No. We'll talk about it during the bye week. But I have some players in the draft in mind for the Patriots.
You and Ken are gonna have to collaborate.
Yeah,
and you'll just be informing me of these players because I have no idea who's who. I know Will Johnson Will Johnson, the corner, right?
Yeah, he's the corner for Michigan.
Will Campbell, the tackle from LSU.
Good. He's pretty damn good.
Banks, the tackle from Arizona, right?
Texas.
Who's the Arizona tackle?
You're thinking of Tet McMillan, Arizona receiver.
Isn't there an Arizona tackle?
No, that was last year.
Who was it last year?
Jordan Morgan.
Ew. I thought there was a tackle from Arizona that was.
The Packers drafted an Arizona tackle last year in like the first round, Jordan Morgan.
I thought there was another one. Okay. I know Luther Burden. Was he
Pretty
Arkansas?
damn good.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, he's pretty damn good.
I believe that's it. I believe those are the prospects.
You don't know the running back, Jonty?
Oh, the Boise State guy.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Ashton.
Ashton Gianti, something like that.
It's like Ashton Jonty.
Okay. I have no interest in that.
By the way, Ashton Jonty is such a cowboy. I'm just gonna point that out to you right now.
Yeah, you can't wait for that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That has Jerry Jones written all over him. Let's get
that. Is your preview for the show in 2 weeks, right? Because we'll do Colts game and then bye week, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about these Dolphins. We're going to Miami this weekend. They're on a 2-game win streak against the Rams, who just beat us, and the Raiders. Tua Tagovailoa seems to be fine. He seems to be back to his regular self. He's coming off of a game against the Raiders. They won 34-19. Tua 28-36, 288, 3 scores. Devon A-Chain, a beast, 17, 73, and 1 on the ground. 17 carries, 73, yeah. And then Jonnu Smith somehow, some way, is all of a sudden just a really good player. Again, 6 catches, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns.
It's almost like when you use players, they actually beat some of them.
Thanks, Josh McDaniels. Tyreek Hill is questionable for this game. He's playing on like a torn wrist ligament or something. Jalen Waddle hasn't exactly lived up to expectations.
Waddle, I gotta say, man, has been the biggest disappointment I think I've ever had in fantasy.
Ayuk exploded his knee, if that counts for anything.
No, dude, like Ayuk tearing his ACL was like, okay, that sucks.
I don't think he just tore the ACL. I think he Bridgewater to that knee.
Yeah, that was bad.
Not great, Jim.
Yeah, whatever. Make gambles. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. No, Waddle, dude, has been like a ghost. And I really don't know like what the fuck is going on with him, because he's super like he's been one of the best like receiver 2s in the league.
He'd be a receiver 1 on a lot of teams.
He'd be our receiver 1, and he hasn't been playing like one. With that being said, I will say this, and I'll just dive into it. The Dolphins with Tua are drastically different as a football team. And absolutely. You know what? I will say I do think his fans overrate him a little, whoever's left of the Tua on. But I admittedly underrated Tua for what he is with the Miami Dolphins.
He's like one of those players where he works in specific situations. Like when we evaluated JJ McCarthy, we thought there was one place where he could go and he can be really good, Minnesota. We didn't see it, obviously, but we still feel pretty good that JJ McCarthy's probably going to be pretty good for Minnesota. And he wouldn't be that good for a lot of other teams. Tua Tagovailoa feels similar.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a credit to Mike McDaniel and the coaches there. They've done a pretty good job with Tua, man. Like,
but he's got to stop slamming his head against the refrigerator. Like,
yeah, if I talk about that, it's just gonna be like this guy's.
Listen, you do you, dude. But Jonnu Smith is a kind of a weapon we didn't see coming for them. That's going to be a problem.
His revenge game is going to be annoying as shit. I can already tell. Like, I know he's going to catch like a touchdown or 2 on our heads, and it's going to be like, fucking Jonnu.
We got Teron Armstead on that line, Robert Jones, Aaron Brewer, Liam Eichenberg, and Kendall Lamb. Isaiah Wynn has been ruled out for this game, so no revenge game for him, thank God. The guy we were all worrying about was Isaiah Wynn.
Isaiah Wynn revenge game. where
being
he,
being the second coming of Logan Mankins guard.
yeah.
How do you feel about this Dolphins defense with Jordan Brooks, Emmanuel Ogbah, Calais Campbell, Chop Robinson, Kendall Fuller, Jordan Poyer, Javon Holland, who is one of my favorite players, and Jalen Ramsey?
It's a tough secondary to throw on. Ramsey, Holland, and Poyer. I mean, Poyer is just fucking... That guy's been a thorn in our side for how many years now?
Didn't you roast his girlfriend on Twitter or something?
Yeah, well, she was being really argumentative about some shit. She was shit talking a lot of Patriots fans back in 2017, and she's telling people to check the stats about Jordan Poyer. And so, me being a 17-year-old dumbass responds to her and said, it was the Dion Lewis stat line from the Buffalo game. I'm check the stats, and it's a picture of Dion Lewis stiff arming Jordan Poyer. Oh fuck, that was quite the time.
Yeah. Tyus Bowser.
He's got me blocked
that's a
on
name
Twitter.
I haven't heard in a while.
Wait, what'd you say?
Tyus Bowser's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Dude, I used to mock draft into the Patriots all the time back in 2017 or 2018, I think. I wanted him, and Baltimore sniped him. I was so upset.
Jordan Brooks in Miami. That's something.
Yeah, he's been. I've heard mixed about him. He's kind of just been
former Seahawk, right?
Yeah, he was really good in Seattle. Has been kind of all right in Miami. Nothing.
So where do you think the Patriots can succeed here? Because they seem to be pretty good across the board.
So I would say where you can succeed against Miami is outside of Zach Sealer, who's a really good defensive tackle for them. They are pretty light in the front seven.
Oh, you don't believe in Calais Campbell in Big 2024?
Not really. I mean, Campbell's a big motherfucker. I should preface that by but outside of Campbell and Sealer, their edges are not they're kind of featherweights. They're not Chop Robinson's a beast of a pass rusher, and he's gonna give I assume Vidarian Lowe, although apparently he missed practice today or was limited or something.
Yeah,
I got a notification about it. I skimmed over it, but Chop Robinson's gonna be annoying to deal with in the pass rushing side of things, but run the football towards him. He's a 240-pound edge rusher. He's kind of like a Micah Parsons light, a little.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. It's got to be a Ramondre Stevenson game, because I think Drake is gonna have a bit of a tougher time throwing the football this week.
How about defensively? How do you keep up with the speed of Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert?
Well, I think we're gonna get gashed in the running game, unfortunately, because that's great. It's too much to expect of Barmore to have him be here, we need you to basically be our Chris Jones again. Save the world. That's not fair to him. He's coming off blood clots. He was awesome, but I expect him to be awesome. But he's still a bit on a snap count. Still working him back. And Miami is going to be tough, especially for a guy getting his legs back.
In Miami, humid.
Yeah.
I should do a weather forecast for this week in
Miami.
Probably
be 85, humid as shit, potentially rainy.
I almost prefer the rain.
Yeah, you'd want the rain in this game. Defensively, though, I will say this: Christian Gonzalez has done extremely well.
Oh, it's not going to be too bad in Miami. It's going to be 77.
What's the humidity on that one, though?
Well, kickoff at 1, 55%. Not awful.
Yeah, for Miami,
it's dry. It's dry up here already, obviously. But 55%. That's a warm September day for New England.
Yeah, you can live with that. With that being said, though, New England always comes down to Miami and just struggles.
Sluggish. They
But
haven't
like
won there since the Antonio Brown game in 2019.
that's why the element of home field advantage is so important in this like Patriots Dolphins rivalry, even just the Dolphins in general, the rest of the AFC East, is because like depending on like the time of year they come to play each other, it's such a drastic difference. like you go Buffalo at the end of the season for Miami, and it's like what the fuck. You go to New England at the end of the season, it's like what the fuck. You go to New York at the end of the season, it's like what the fuck. But then like they have to go to Miami at any point in the year, and it's like a cultural difference for them, unless it's like week 1 or week 2 where you're used to those swamp ass summer. Like it's such. I've always found that element of the AFC so interesting.
No,
Just
I
how
love seeing Buffalo go down there week 11,
yeah.
and then Miami goes up there like week 15.
Yeah, and they both teams just struggle because they can't get
Stink.
acclimated to it. And that's why like when we talked about it like Thanksgiving wise, like how Miami's got to go to Green Bay. Um that game's going to suck. Like I won't lie cuz Miami's going to go to Green Bay. It's going to be like 32, with like a wind chill of like 25, potential snow, whatever, rain and shit. And Miami's like, what the? I don't know what to do here. Like,
Like when they went to Arrowhead and it was like minus 40
yeah,
last year.
that was the most obvious loss ever.
Like, sorry. All right. And Tua is undefeated against the Patriots. Also worth noting.
Yeah, it would be a really good week to break that streak, wouldn't it?
A little bit would be good. Would be good. All right.
Yeah.
Ready for our 10 questions around the league?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Number 1, is Bo Nix a serious contender for Rookie of the Year?
I gotta say I was wrong about Bo Nix. He's a good quarterback.
So far. I'm
Yeah.
not willing to say he's good yet. He could still be a Sean
He's
Payton
good so
merchant.
far. I will say Jaden Daniels has really fallen off.
I wonder if he's playing injured.
He's playing hurt. Like his ribs are definitely bugging him. You see, he's not using his legs as much. And it's really starting to burn him. Like he can't. He's not completely there yet as a passer, where he can just be a standalone pocket passer. He needs the mobility, and I mean, Bo Nix, he's red hot right now.
I don't think there's any other contender.
Dude, do you know how crazy it's gonna be if Bo Nix is like the rookie of the year?
It wasn't on my bingo card.
No.
All right. The Bills beat the Chiefs on Sunday. Are they the best team in the AFC?
Yes.
No.
I think so.
No.
Kansas City, I'm not sold on them this season. I don't
Were
care
you
about
sold
their
on them
stuff.
last season?
I was more sold on them than I was this year.
I feel like they're winning in different ways. Mahomes is he's getting them the wins when they need them. I think Buffalo just had the better team that day. I still think Kansas City is the team to beat. I don't think it's Buffalo.
Fair enough. I mean, like history does say like,
and everybody knows I am a gigantic Josh Allen honk. Like that dude's a beast.
Yeah. It's just more so I do think Buffalo right now is playing better than Kansas City is. I know record wise they're different, but like I think this is the year for Buffalo if they're gonna break their curse.
No, it's got to be this year.
Yeah. That's and if they choke, best believe if Buffalo chokes, I'm on that ass. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how bad we are right now. I will be there for it. But unfortunately, evil in this world is in my eyes. Yeah. No, Buffalo's best team in the AFC right now. I hate to say it.
I'm not there yet. All right. Bill Belichick reportedly interested in Jacksonville in 2025. What do you make of that? How do you feel like that's going to go? Could it end up being good, or is it destined to be horrible?
I mean, here's the thing. The Jaguars basically tried their own version of Bill Belichick a couple years ago with Tom Coughlin. I don't think it'd work that well in Jacksonville. I think Belichick, if he's gonna go to a team, I think it's going to be like a Dallas or Philly or I'm not even Philly at this point because like Sirianni's gonna probably keep his job again.
If Sirianni gets bounced round 1,
he's probably getting gassed. And if he gets gassed, I mean, like, I think Belichick is tailor made for Philly. The problem with the Jaguars is that they're just a total clusterfuck of an organization. From ownership downwards, just a joke. It's a clown show.
I think if they hire Belichick, Belichick can give them something they don't have, which is a culture and foundation. He can tighten up the ship.
But the problem
and they have the talent
though,
to be good. They do.
The problem is that culture is built off of also at the top, like the very top ownership. What have the Jaguars in their history under Shad Khan been?
True. Fair point.
Yeah. And I also heard they might keep Trent Baalke.
If they keep Trent Baalke and hire Belichick, it's a fail. It's absolutely a fail.
It will be a fucking... If they keep Baalke, it's going to be a disaster. Baalke is terrible.
I'd rather have Belichick as my GM than Baalke.
And that says a lot, because Baalke is like bottom 5 GMs in the league.
You can back your ass into Brian Thomas and Trevor Lawrence all you want.
Yeah. Congrats on having the first overall pick, dude. Good job. Why were you there?
Joe Douglas canned by the Jets. What do the Jets' future look like with no GM and no head coach in place? What do they make of the Aaron Rodgers era/error? Where do they go from here?
I need to pull this up. I gotta go off camera for a sec because I gotta go to get this picture. I need to tell you. So this came out about Woody Johnson, and we talk about culture comes from the top.
I think I know what you're talking about. The one in chat.
Yeah, did I send it to the chat?
I believe that you did. I think it was earlier
Woody
today.
Johnson, dude, he wanted Aaron Rodgers benched after week 4. Woody Johnson apparently vetoed a trade that would send Jerry Jeudy to the Jets. Woody Johnson basically is meddling the fuck out of the Jets.
Oh, it was an SFS. BR sent it, friend of the show.
That's it. Okay.
So Woody Johnson unilaterally fired Robert Saleh on October 8th without consulting anybody. Johnson blocked Bryce Huff's extension wishes from Joe Douglas. Johnson nixed a Douglas trade offering Lazard and a day 2 pick for Jerry Jeudy. Joe Douglas escalated after forcing Douglas to fire close friend Rex Hogan. Who's Rex Hogan?
I want to say he was in their front office.
Rex Hogan. Definitely not as sexy as Rex Burkhead. Rex Hogan. He's just a front office voice. Director of college scouting. Ooh, it's a big job.
Yeah.
When Chad Alexander left for the Chargers, Johnson blocked Douglas from replacing him. Chad Alexander was Douglas's top advisor. Hassan Reddick held out after Johnson refused to negotiate a contract extension. Tyron Smith and Mike Williams signings were Woody Johnson driven. Johnson pushed for the Devontae Adams trade. Johnson benched Tony Adams against the wishing of the coach's staff. And Rodgers likely won't return, with Johnson preferring to move on. And as you said, Johnson allegedly wanted to bench him after the Broncos game.
So did you notice that there was a period of time when Woody Johnson, and we're going to try to keep it as far away from politics as possible when I say this, when he was Trump's advisor to England.
I didn't know that.
4 years. So he might go back to be, whatever,
in the administration,
the ambassador of England. And like I said, we're gonna keep it far away from politics. So I won't talk about anything else and why it's a stupid decision to even have Woody Johnson anywhere. But anyway, when it'd be one of the top one of the top cabinet picks of his cabinet. Yeah. Listen, this isn't this. Yeah. Yeah. No, I have thoughts on that shit, but
I'll say the things you won't, Ryan. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay, you know, I'll say it. A lot of the cabinet picks are fucking not a lot of them. All of them are fucking stupid and gonna sandbag this country. But whatever. Um, uh, when he went away, the Jets were actually kind of competent. Like they were a lot more competent than they normally were. Like they were actually making like decent decisions.
So you're saying that once Woody Johnson goes, they might be able to get back right?
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is Patriots fans, you better hope Woody Johnson, stays in
Sticks
power
around.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
All right.
one of the worst owners in sports.
Speaking of, the Colts beat the Jets last weekend. Were we too early pronouncing Anthony Richardson dead?
Well, you were. I was saying I want to at least I was hard on him, but I did want to see a little bit more from
I
because he's
still
only
think he
22.
sucks. All right, are you back or did you just beat the Jets?
Yeah, I think that's an end of season conversation to be had.
Listen, if he plays well against the Lions, I'll hear. I'll listen to the I'm back conversations. But right now, no, you just beat the
I'm
Jets.
tentative
Relax.
on it. I'm very tentative on him. I want to see more. I don't want to give up on him, but I want to see more.
I think he sucks. Are the Chargers for real after they just beat the Bengals on primetime?
Yes, dude, they are. It's night and day how much better they're coached under Harbaugh. And why am I blanking on his name? Their defensive coordinator, Hortz or something.
Oh,
Shit.
I know who you're talking about. Stand by. Chargers, the
Fuck, why am I
coordinator.
blanking on his name? No, Hortz is their GM. Horowitz or whatever. Why am I blanking? Minter.
Yes,
Um,
Jesse Minter.
Minter, that guy is going to be a head coach in a year or two. I'll just say that right now. I remember hearing a lot of hype about him coming from Michigan. That guy rocks. Like, he has that charges
And they're doing all this with their number one receiver being Lad McConkey and Quentin
Dude,
Johnston.
they're even getting Quentin Johnston to not completely suck at football.
Harbaugh magic, man.
Yeah.
Chargers are going to be the Chargers
No.
are going to be the team that nobody wants to play in the playoffs.
Yeah. They play fugly, and you know what? I gotta give credit to this guy, and I'm sorry to bring this. I know you're essentially tanking without tanking in our dynasty league, but J.K. Dobbins, man, I love. He has to be the comeback player of the year.
Yeah, no,
Easily.
I hear that.
Dude, his injury history is astounding.
ACLs, Achilles.
He's basically had his legs just. He has a bionic leg at this point. And he's only 25, and he's running the best he's ran in his whole entire career. It's nuts. I love it. I love it for him. I loved I live in I live in Columbus. I think we know that. I watched basically his entire college career play out, and so to see him overcome all this adversity and shine like this is just it makes me so happy for the guy. I want to give a shout out to J.K. Dobbins. Love him.
Number 6. The state of the NFC West is confusing. Arizona leads the division at 6-4. Everybody else is 5-5, with the caveat that the 49ers are 1-3 in division games. Ryan, I guess do I have a thought on the Niners separately? No. Okay. So we'll just talk about this division as a whole. Who do you see winning it? What's been the biggest surprise to you? And yeah, but just general thoughts on the NFC West.
I would say Arizona leading is a bit of a surprise. I thought they were gonna be a fun bad team, where they're 6-7 wins or whatever, but there's foundation. No, they're already at the 6-win mark. But I will say this: I do think the 49ers will squeak it out.
I don't.
I mean, it is dependent though on Kittle, because I think Kittle is Purdy's guy. He's his go-to guy.
Their best weapon at this point.
Yeah. Although
which is sad because CMC can't run anymore. Deebo Samuel has so much mileage on him, it's not even funny. And Ayuk is rehabbing a knee injury.
Yeah. Well, there is a player I do want to show a lot of love to, and I've loved this guy since college. And he was a guy I wanted the Patriots to draft in 2020. Jawan Jennings. I love him. I love him. And I think the 49ers got him on one of the best contracts in the league right now. And I think he's their X factor outside of Kittle to step up this year. If he keeps putting it together, San Francisco is going to win the division. And they're going to be same old San Francisco, I think.
I think they're done. I'm pronouncing the Niners dead on November 20th, 2024. Okay. I don't think they're making the playoffs. It wouldn't
shock me if they lost the division. I'm betting on.
I don't think they're making the playoffs, Ryan.
Oh,
I don't think they're making the playoffs. Listen, backing your ass into 9-8 isn't good enough in the NFC. It's not. You have 3 teams in the NFC North all making the playoffs. Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay. You have in the South, you're going to have Atlanta and Tampa. That's 5. You're going to have Washington and Philly. That's 6. Arizona is your 7th, or whoever wins that division is the 7th. That's that. All spots are taken. The NFC West is not a multi-team playoff division. Not going to happen.
I just think they're going to. I think they're going to turn it around. I'm betting
the Rams are playing better than them. Seattle's playing better than them, and the Cardinals are playing better than them. I can't see it. I don't see it.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm betting on their I'm betting on them in their.
Want to go through the remaining schedule?
Yeah. Let's see if they can.
4-hour schedule. Ooh.
It's tough, isn't it?
The next 2 weeks, this is going to be the nail in the coffin. I'm telling you. They got Green Bay this week in Green Bay.
Okay.
And they got the Bills in Buffalo on Sunday Night Football.
Okay, I won't lie. They do have a bit of a luck of the devil with Green Bay.
I don't think it's going to happen.
In Green Bay,
not happening. Not happening.
I think
they don't got miserable old man Aaron Rodgers over there anymore. It's Jordan Love.
They beat Jordan Love in the playoffs last year.
In San Francisco, where it's 75 and sunny. It's going to be Green Bay in late November. Where do we think the temperature is going to be there? Green Bay weather on Sunday. 45 degrees. Wind at 8 miles per hour. It could snow if the storm moves up from Monday to Sunday. It could snow if the storm on Wednesday, Thursday moves into the weekend. It could be bad.
It could.
And they do not have the weapons to beat the Packers anymore. They're old and hurt.
So you're saying the 49ers suck, Mike?
The 49ers are cooked. They're done. Porked. Absolutely boned.
I will say I will say this. I think they're fucked when they have to pay Purdy. It's not. I'm higher on Purdy than like a lot of people are, but like, yeah, it will get ugly for them. I won't deny it. I don't know yet. I don't think yet.
I think they're gonna go 0-2, and then they got the Bears at home, and then the Rams at home. And didn't they lose the Rams earlier in the season? They did by 3.
They did, yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
They got the Lions left too, the Dolphins, the Cardinals. The end of the season. I'm sorry. I think they're done because 9-8 is not going to be good enough, and I think they're lucky if they get 4 more wins out of this year.
We'll have to wait and see. But
the Cardinals are going to have to fall off. The Rams are going to have to fall off.
I'm super confident in my pick. I want to point that out. Like, it's just more so like I do think their history of the past. I mean, I think they got 1 or 2 more years left in them, and then the window's gonna.
No, I don't think the window's closed, but I think this year's done. I just don't think it's their year.
Yeah. You might be right. I don't know. Like, we'll see. If they win this week, like if they beat the Packers, I think I'll be a lot more confident in them.
If they lose,
If they lose, then yeah, it's done.
so I'm just beating
Done
you to
unless
the
they
punch
run
here.
the table.
All right, number 7. Should the Ravens panic or do the Steelers just have their number? And before you answer, Lamar is 4-12 versus Pittsburgh and Kansas City since he entered the league.
Not good.
You can't beat Pittsburgh and you can't beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, because Pittsburgh kind of, they muddy things up. I think it's just Pittsburgh and AFC North ball come into play with Lamar, and they muddy things up. And then, I will say Derrick Henry didn't have the greatest game either.
Well, think about this. Since Lamar's entered the league, the Ravens don't win when they can't establish the run game.
Well, because that's their philosophy, right?
When Lamar when they're forced to play out of philosophy and forced to change it up, they can't do it. And this isn't that Lamar's a bad player or that Lamar is a scramble merchant. That's not what I mean at all. I think it's well established that Lamar is an awesome player. 2 MVPs.
He's going to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I hope people are ready for
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. He's not as good as Josh Allen.
No, but
and I don't think the Ravens are a good team, but I don't think they're going to get it done.
Well, and this is the thing about the Ravens. I'll always say this until they prove otherwise. They're kind of like the NFL's version of like the Lob City Clippers. Like super electric regular season. They might go like a little bit far in the postseason, but like the end result.
They're not as feisty as the Ravens back in the day.
James Harden Rockets, like that kind.
They're not as feisty as they were back in the Patriots dynasty days.
No.
They just don't get that dog.
And
I don't think they got that dog in them.
Defensively, they've been shit. Like for their standards, for what I view Baltimore as, they've been shit. And it's stunning. And Zach Gore, who was one hell of a player before his neck injury. I loved him. Wanted the Patriots get him. He is a first-time play caller, so maybe, it's like the DeMarcus Covington conundrum there, where like you want to see results, but also it's a young first-time play caller. But he needs to tighten that ship up because it's playoff time, man. It's coming. For like a month and a half out.
So I misspoke. We are on 9, not 7. I forgot that I moved some things up. Daniel Jones is done in New York. Tommy DeVito is QB1. And Drew Lock is QB2. And in practice, Tim Boyle was QB3.
So I heard they're doing this strictly for financials.
Yes. And I think that's why his teammates, Daniel Jones' teammates, came out in defense of him because players don't like it when teams are messing with their money.
No, I don't blame the players.
Players stick up for players in financial situations.
With that being said, I am with Giants management on this. Daniel Jones, well, you made the mistake by either not franchise tagging him or letting him go. Like you should have done either of those. Because I'll be real, and I said this at the time, and I don't want a victory lap, but I'm gonna victory lap here. That never made sense to me why they gave him that contract, and it never made sense to me why people were high on Daniel Jones and the Giants.
I wasn't one of those people.
You told me I was on crack for not having them in the playoffs. I remember it. I remember it last year.
I have to go back and look. I do remember being higher on the Giants than everybody else. I I don't think I could have foreseen them being this bad after the run they had in 2022. Like, you can say that Daniel Jones isn't a very good quarterback, and I think most people would have to agree with you, even at the beginning of last year. But they had Brian Daboll had a great first year. He got everything out of Daniel Jones he possibly could have in that offense, and it all just came crashing down.
Well, the roster I gotta say this as well. Joe Shane,
awful as
he's
job.
Not a good GM.
Awful as job.
He's not good. The Giants aren't good. They're just. I'm gonna quote Dennis Eckersley here because I remember like he said this about the Pittsburgh Pirates one time on the Red Sox broadcast. But outside of like Malik Neighbors and Dexter Lawrence, the Giants are a hodgepodge of nothingness, man. Like, I won't lie, that team is void of talent.
What do you do if you're the Giants at the top of the draft? Say that they're picking 3.
I think you go best player available. I don't think you should take a quarterback in this draft. Truthfully, they're probably going to. I would take best football player available. You need talent, man. Your roster sucks. Do what the Lions did. You know what? I will say, just get great football players in the building. And I'm not saying go draft Jonty because you don't draft a running back that high. As great as, player Barkley is, and as great of a player I think Jonty's going to be, don't do that. But you need a blue chip talent there desperately outside of Dexter Lawrence and Malik Neighbors.
Who's going to be the bridge quarterback for them?
Darnold. I think Darnold's going there.
Back in New York?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Sam Darnold might rather kill himself than go. He might go to the Raiders first.
Well, they give him like 35 million reasons why to go play there, or 40 million reasons why, or something like that.
Yeah, it's not as good as Cam Neely's 64 million reasons.
Yeah.
That were really just 62.5 million.
Yeah. Do we want to talk Bruins at all today? Or do you want to say that?
Tristan was just talking to me about doing another hockey episode.
Yeah.
Me and him were getting into it.
Hey, listen, can I just have one more victory lap?
What?
I can't remember the last time my Blue Jackets put a nail in a coach's coffin. I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe we got a coach fired. That wasn't our own. We didn't have our own Mike Babcock situation here. Again.
All right, ready for best for last?
Yeah.
Number 10 before we go to our picks. The Bengals. I feel like this is gonna be your version of my Niners. They're done. Except you're gonna be a lot more mean.
Okay.
The floor is yours, Mr. Moore.
Zach Taylor and Lou Anaromo. Why are you employed? Why? Why are you employed at this point? Well, here's why. You have the cheapest fucking owner in football who doesn't want to have to pay out contracts for fired coaches. So what are you stuck with? You're stuck with your quarterback who's having, by the way, I think Joe Burrow's on pace to have the best season of his career. He's basically in his mid-2010s Drew Brees arc right now. You have Jamar Chase, who's arguably the best receiver in football right now. Who, by the way, guess what? For a cheap fucking owner, guess who you have to pay in a year? Or in a couple months. It's that guy. You have T. Higgins. He rocks. You're going to let him walk out the door. You have, you have a whole roster that on paper, there's talent all over the place, but they're also so structurally flawed in the way they coach, in the way they fucking play as a team. It kind of feels like Zach Taylor is like the offensive version of Drake Maye, but he's in his like 5th year of coaching. What do you do here? Is your offensive philosophy is Joe Burrow go brr? Like what the fuck are you guys doing? What's your philosophy? You don't have a philosophy. Your philosophy is just like, hey, we got this really sick quarterback. It's like what we're doing, Drake Maye.
Except
But
worse,
that's the thing.
because they gave him the $1 million contract and the $1 million receiver.
They have the groceries, and they're cooking a 1-star meal.
They got the groceries and they're opting to cook the ramen noodles instead.
Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous, man. And you know what? I will say this too. I think they should have fired Zach Taylor after the game. They should have fired Zach Taylor. I think after I would have fired him after 2022. I don't give a shit that he took the team to the Super Bowl. No. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Mixon and your defense, who played very well at the time, took you to that Super Bowl. You are a passenger. You are AFC Sirianni. That's who you are.
So the Bengals are on bye this week. They got the Steelers, Cowboys, Titans, Bengals, not Bengals, Browns, Broncos, Steelers to end the year. Not great. A lot of in-division games.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 division games. Half of the games left are division games, and then you have the Broncos, who are a playoff team.
Yeah, not great. And here's the thing, Burrow. There's still relative hope for Cincinnati just because of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and I forgot to mention Chase Brown. He rocks, man. Shout out London, Ontario. Dude, I missed it. But Zach Taylor tried to go encourage Trey Hendrickson on the sidelines. And Trey Hendrickson shot his arm down. He's like, get the fuck away from me. When your best defensive player is doing that, what does that say?
Seriously.
You lost the room. I just talked about quickly with the Bruins, but Jim Montgomery, who's a much better coach, lost his room. And you know what the Bruins did? They made the right choice. They fired the coach.
And they didn't hire that one guy I was really afraid that we might.
Joe Klenko. Some team is going to do it. You know what? Oh, my God. I think Tristan's Red Wings are going to do it.
I hope they do.
Oh, my God. We can... No, being serious, though, it would be objectively horrible if that guy gets a coaching job again. He's going to get one, but... I
was packing my bags for Minnesota when I heard that name.
Fuck Minnesota. Come to Columbus.
You're going to have to convince me. We should make that an episode that we just...
Guarding Caleb.
Well, on the beat side, we just line up this list. We go through each team and what the pros and cons.
All right. Boston Bruins. Clown show.
All right, you ready for the picks?
I am. Can I make one last point?
Go.
Quickly. Your cornerback room got even worse in Cincinnati. DJ Turner, I believe, is out for the rest of the season. Who do you go and pick up? Marco Wilson, a guy bad enough that the Patriots didn't want him. What the fuck, man? And I say this because, the Bengals to me are kind of like a second team. I always, I love Joe Burrow. He's my dynasty quarterback. I have a lot of love for him because living here in Ohio, he's done so much for the state. With that being said, they are fucked. They are so fucked. And if Zach Taylor, Lou Anarumo's going to get fired, I think. If Zach Taylor's still their head coach next year, they're going to continue to get fucked. And by the way, enjoy when T. Higgins is an elite receiver somewhere else.
The New England Patriots.
Yeah. Who's wearing
All right.
Patriot colors? All right.
Pittsburgh at Cleveland on Thursday Night Football tomorrow. The Steelers are 3.5-point favorites. I say the Steelers are due for a weird loss, and this is going to be it.
So I will say this. We are getting snow here in Ohio tomorrow. So
could be interesting. How much?
I heard 5 inches of snow here in Columbus. Cleveland, it might be different. I'd have to check the weather radar.
It's saying rain in Cleveland.
Okay, well, it's gonna get messy tomorrow. It's gonna be like wintry mix type of dog shit. Like,
Cloudy and windy at nighttime. Chance of rain 100%. Rainfall around 1/4 of an inch. Higher wind gusts if possible. Russell Wilson's gonna have a bad day.
it's gonna be dependent on Najee Harris and Nick Chubb. Give me Nick Chubb to win the game for Cleveland.
I guess the Steelers shouldn't lose this one, but this is the game that they're gonna lose.
Yeah. It's gonna be a classic AFC North just shit fest where it's terrible weather and everyone's just like wondering why they're even wasting their time watching this game.
Speaking of classic Northern Division rivalries, the Vikings are heading up to Soldier Field to take on Da Bears. How do you feel about this one? Where do you think it's going to go?
I think Minnesota is going to beat them. And I will say this: the Bears, they look better offensively under Thomas Brown, which is, I guess Shane Waldron was so bad that, it's like a low bar. But Caleb Williams' pocket presence, until it gets fixed, especially against a coordinator like Brian Flores, I don't think it's going to be a good time for him.
The Vikings, just going through the games here. Okay, I guess they've cleaned up their Viking. I guess they cleaned up their record in Soldier Field. Pretty good. I mean, they've won the last two, so yeah, I guess I'll take Minnesota. I don't feel great about it, and the line, the spread is Minnesota -3.5. That's not enough points to really try to make it close. Detroit headed to Indy to take on the Colts. Detroit is a 7.5 point favorite. I'm taking Detroit both ways. Like I said, I think Anthony Richardson sucks, and the Lions are going to feast on him.
I'm with you on that. Detroit right now is the best team in football until proven otherwise.
I agree. Skipping New England and Miami, saving it for last. Tampa Bay headed to the Giants. MetLife Stadium. Tampa is 6-point favorites. Tommy Cutlets is fun, but he's not good. Give me Tampa both ways.
Oh, and for Tampa, Mike Evans is back.
Yeah, give me Tampa by a lot. Give me Tampa by a lot.
Yeah, Tampa's going to win.
Dallas at Washington. Washington, 10.5 point favorites. Dallas just got smoked by a kind of struggling Houston team. Washington's got
we should have brought them up in the NFL segment. They're weird right now.
Houston, yeah.
Yeah. With that being said, give me Washington to win, but I think Dallas is going to cover.
Really?
Yeah, Washington hasn't been, like, especially with Jaden Daniels. Until Jaden Daniels overcomes whatever he's dealing with his ribs, I think there's going to be a lot of close Washington games.
The Commanders haven't beaten a good team this year. Well, no, scratch that. They beat the Cardinals by a lot. But that was like streaky Cardinals. They haven't had a really, really good win all year.
Yeah. And with that being said, I need Jaden Daniels to go off. I traded for him in my fantasy league, and he's like in one of my big money leagues, and he's been terrible since I acquired him. But the problem is my backup CJ Stroud, so I'm fucked. Like
that's what you get for trading for an injured player. I took Washington both ways. I think Dallas is cooked, done, torched, bad, and Washington will take advantage of that because they beat the crap out of bad teams. KC at Carolina. The Chiefs are favored 10.5. I'll take KC both ways pretty comfortably.
I'll take KC both ways, especially because Pacheco's coming back, and I think that's going to open up their offense a little bit more. With that being said, I think Carolina, it wouldn't shock me if Bryce Young continues to put it together. I think he's kind of starting to regain his form. But
so Titans they're coming off of the bye, I do believe. No, they played. They lost to the Vikings by 10. They got the Texans this week in Houston. Houston is 8.5 point favorites. I'll take Houston to win, but I'll take Tennessee to cover. They're a weird team. Houston's weird. The Titans can make this close.
two of the oddest teams in football. Until Houston gets it together, I'm not taking Houston to cover a spread. I will take them to win this game.
8.5 is a lot of points for an in-division game for a weird team.
And they're struggling.
Denver at Vegas. Denver 5.5 point favorites. I'll take Denver both ways. I think the Raiders are one of the worst teams in football.
Denver both ways easily.
It will be between the Jags and the Raiders for that first pick at the end of it.
Yeah, and
Speaking of, Jags aren't playing this week. You think Peterson gets canned?
I don't know why they didn't do it already.
I wonder if they're just going to let him play out the string.
Dude, here's the thing. You let Detroit hang how much on you?
52?
Like, yeah. You can't, like... I think even Doug Peterson was probably expecting to get tarmacked after that one. Like, I'm stunned. He's still there.
They did nothing. Brian Thomas had 5 catches for 82 yards, and that's it. That's it. And Mac Jones threw a pick to end the game, obviously.
Yeah, speaking of...
even
Mac
Hendon
Jones
Hooker
sucks.
got action. 3 for 4, 37 yards.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Hate to see it.
Yeah.
San Francisco going to Green Bay, take on the Packers. Packers are 2.5 point favorites. Lock of the week.
Ooh.
Green Bay is putting the final nail in the coffin for San Francisco.
Okay, well, I'm going to disagree. I got San Francisco winning.
How do you feel about picking against the Packers, who you've been proclaiming to win the division all year?
Well,
That case is cooked, by the way.
I kind of have to stick to my 49ers.
That case is cooked. It's cooked. It's done.
Listen, couple narratives are colliding with each other, but yeah, no. That's Detroit's division, unfortunately, for Green Bay.
Arizona at Seattle. Seattle -1, which really means it's a toss-up. I think Arizona's due for a loss. I do. I think it's Seattle's win.
I'm with you on that. Give me Seattle. By the way, Jackson Smith and Jigba is starting to really turn a corner.
He's starting to come around.
Yeah.
He fucking torched us.
He's a beast, man.
Let's see. Last week against San Francisco, 10 for 110 versus the Rams 2 weeks ago, 7, 180, and 2. Pretty good stretch there.
Yeah, he's good.
Philadelphia at the Rams. Philadelphia -2.5. I'm taking Philly.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Let me also point out how I was really confident about the Eagles winning last week, and you weren't here for it.
Well, sometimes it gets shit wrong.
I got 12 games right. You got 7.
I was shit last week.
That was my best game. That was my best week of the year.
My head wasn't in the game. All right.
And then Brian got 13 right.
Fucking Brian.
13 out of 14. He got right.
Typical Brian.
He just missed the Thursday night game. He picked Washington over Philly.
Ah, look at that idiot.
Seriously, yeah. Look
Love
at
you,
that
Brian. If you're
bozo.
listening, I love you, buddy.
Brian's not listening. Come on. The Ravens are headed to LAC to take on the Chargers. Baltimore, for some inexplicable reason, are the favorites -2.5. I'm taking the Chargers in a 24-20 game, which makes it 44 points.
I got Baltimore winning. I'm gonna say I have to keep the score a little different than you.
Yep.
But it's going to be around that 20-point range for both teams. I'm going to say 21-17 Baltimore.
38.
So
okay. What do you think the spread is for this one? New England, Miami.
I'm going to say Miami 6.5.
Miami -7.5.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we did all the window dressing.
Yeah.
Do you want to give any final synopsis on how the Patriots could win this game before we inevitably bury them?
Okay. They could win this game if they dominate time of possession and Ramondre really gets it going, and Drake Maye doesn't, succumb to the Patriots quarterback in Miami curse.
Dominate time of possession without letting Tua throw for 4 touchdowns and 9 pass attempts.
Yeah. Oh, and actually use your Lamborghini at cornerback like a fucking Lamborghini.
Yeah. I think he'll follow Tyreek Hill.
He should.
He has every time
If he
they played.
doesn't, that's coaching malpractice.
All right, Ryan, give me your pick in the final.
Okay, so I got Miami winning, and I have them covering the spread. Unfortunately, I got Miami winning 31-17.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's bad that was the first score that came to mind too. I'm taking Miami to win. I'll be optimistic. I think New England's playing tough. They're playing really, really tough. I'll take them to cover it, or to get within 7.5. I'll take New England in a 20 in a 30-24 game. They'll get within 6. So, all right. Any parting words to the people, Ryan, before we sign off?
Yeah, Jalen Waddle, I'm starting you in fantasy this week. It's over for you if you can't get it going. It's a wash, Jonathan Jones.
Oh, I'm not starting him.
Oh, I'm bold enough right now.
I'm not doing it. I got him in a redraft league. I'm not interested in starting him at all.
Dude, it's so fucked.
Would you start Jalen Waddle over Lad McConkey? No. Not against the Ravens, who are the worst against receivers. Or Calvin Ridley against Houston?
I would probably... Calvin Ridley's a toss-up.
Or Roma Dunze?
Dunze, he's getting more targets. I picked him up in my high school league. I need a receiver this week. I'm like, oh shit!
I got Quentin Johnston on the bench too. Maybe I just go full Chargers receiver mode.
Yeah,
and start 2 of them.
Listen, it's between Jalen Waddle or Ramondre Stevenson for me in my flex spot in the one league we're in, the $50 one. I don't know.
It's tough. If you got any advice for Ryan in fantasy, please leave it in the comments.
Well, I'm in locks. But it's kind of bad.
That's the poll for the day, chat. We wanted to know Jalen Waddle or Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah. Well, it's a Patriots podcast. We know what's going to happen here.
Ramondre for 170-4.
And listen, if Ramondre does that and I have him on the bench, there will be an all-time mauled fest from me.
All right, Ryan. Thanks for coming on as usual. And to all you folks at home, thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow the show on Facebook, on Instagram, even though we really don't use it. And comment your thoughts, comment your feedback, anything you want us to talk about next week. And we'll see you all next week. Have fun. Have a great night. Be safe. Go Pats.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Foxboro BeatCast. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.